You know, I've come to the conclusion recently that my family is just weird. My mother was a nurse, an artist, and a paranoid schizophrenic. But you know, for a single mom, schizophrenia is not all that bad. I mean, if my mom ever needed a babysitter, well, the Martians were right there. I actually inherited a lot from my mother. I got her eyes and her nose. And those people that followed her whenever she left her apartment, yeah, I got those too. You know, it used to be easy to pick out the paranoids. They were the ones coming down the street, having very heated, arm-flailing arguments with no one. Not that easy to pick them out anymore. You see one of these arguments coming towards you, even if the guy is, even if he's keeping himself warm by wearing several layers of garbage bags, you can't tell if he's crazy. You got to get up close to him, because more likely, he's just some guy talking on a Bluetooth. Now, I've heard it said that sometimes paranoia can be triggered by taking illegal drugs. I don't think that's the problem in my case. You may not believe this to look at me, but I'm not really an old hippie. Okay, every so often I will answer to the name Ozzy. The important thing is that I may be one of the only people who ever grew up in the 60s who never tried any kind of illegal drug. Okay, that might not be entirely true. I did do coke once, but I'll tell you, I'll never do it a second time. You get that stuff up in your nose, and those little bubbles really hurt. You know, my wife also tends towards the unusual. She's very amicably endowed. You know, I know it's a big thing for guys to fantasize about making out with a woman with a large chest. But you gotta understand, I have been married to this woman for 20 years. You wanna know what it's really like to make out with a woman with big breasts? Yeah, it's freaking great. She does have an odd idea about housekeeping though. My wife feels that nothing is ever properly put away until no human could possibly ever find it again. She tries to help. I'm sure that in 2,000 years or so, some archaeologist will be digging up my house, and he'll get all excited when he finds that package of razor blades that I spent all yesterday hunting for. Or she'll try to help. She'll say, "Oh, I don't know, dear. Maybe the mice took them." Yeah, great. I'm so sure that in the walls of our house are some really well-shaped mice. My son is relatively sane, although he was adopted by a pack of wild Mormons and raises one of their own. We went to their house recently, and I was just amazed at the number of pictures of Jesus that they had on the wall. They were everywhere. And so I'm standing here looking at all these Jesuses, Wait. Okay, it's Greek, so the plural of Jesus would be Jeezys. Yeah. So I'm looking at all these Jeezys on the wall, and it occurs to me that none of them look Jewish. They all have blonde hair and blue eyes. If anything, they look kind of Nordic. So after a while, I turn to my wife and I say, "Look, I'm a little confused here. Do Mormons worship Jesus or Thor?" Okay, there was one picture where Jesus did not look like a backup singer for ABBA. And my daughter-in-law caught me staring at it, and she asked me if I was all right. And I said, "Well, yeah, I just never realized you guys were such big Viggo Mortensen fans." Thank you very much.